Please, I beg you, who told you your children must go to school?
Say it again.
Who told you your children must go to school? A lot of people know what to do, but they don't do it. They are very intelligent to explain everything, but if you ask them, are you doing it? They are not. As I am today, there are still poor people in my church tomorrow. Because everything you say, after you are finished, they want to come and collect money after service. All those things you are saying is not for them. They are not ready to do. They are not ready to be consistent. So you see a lot of people, they will tell you, don't listen to all these people, all these motivational speakers, aspire to acquire, I've tried it does not work. Now listen, because like I say to people, if you are not married and you are poor, there can be a lot of excuses for your stupidity. What are the three major things that takes money from people?
You're welcome to this channel. This is Money Mindset Mastery. On this channel, we teach you how to make money, how to manage your money, how to sustain your money, and how to grow generational wealth. If you're interested in joining a community of like-minded people who are passionate about making money, kindly click the link in the description below. There we share information about this channel and updates on this platform. If you're interested in ordering any book, kindly click the link in my description below and send me a message directly to my WhatsApp, and the book will be delivered to you. Enjoy the rest of this video.
All right, so ladies and gentlemen, please put your hands together as I welcome Dr. Olumide Emmanuel. Come on, you can do better. You can do better. You can do better. Thank you very much, sir.
Thank you.
All right, many of you may not know this. For years and years, Dr. Olumide Emmanuel, well, he's not just a multi-billionaire, but he's also been raising billionaires, not just in Nigeria, and all over the world with one of his platforms, which is the Billionaire Conclave. Again, we want to say thank you very much, sir, for everything you're doing.
Yeah, thank you very much.
Yes. All right, let's start. Sometimes it's because of the kind of economy. I mean, the first thing that hits you about our economy in this part of the world, not just Nigeria, the first set of experiences people have or mindset people have with the economy is that it's not good, it's not well organized, and it's difficult for them to have that mental wiring to believe that they can make it. And so that's why it's important to hear stories like yours, who perhaps didn't exactly come from money. So let's start from there. Can you tell us about what your first set of experiences with money? What does your background look like? And how do you get to where you are today?
Okay, thank you very much. I think it all boils down back to the subject of mindsets. I'm the firstborn in a family of 8, 5 biological, 2 adopted, 1 away match. So we are 8 altogether, at least to the best of my knowledge. We still had to ask my father. I had to send 2 of my younger ones to him. I think last month to say, go and ask this man. He's now growing older. So does he have any other one anywhere? Should we be expecting? Just no. So we are first of 8. So we come from a middle class family. My father was a custom officer, and he was a custom officer that did not steal. He was not born again. He was not stealing. Double jeopardy. All the other custom officers that I knew along with him were all building houses and stealing money. The man refused to steal. Born again, you know, born again. Thief, you know, thief. So you are wondering, what are you doing there? But for me as an individual, I just saw money from the point of the environment. Go to school, get a good grade, get a good job, make money, and then if by a stroke of luck, you probably just make it. But my story changed in 1997, 98, because like I say to people, if you are not married and you are poor, there can be a lot of excuses for your stupidity. Because you have a lot of people to still help you. You can crash in Jimon's house, spend one night there, you can just go and eat breakfast somewhere else, lunch somewhere else. But you can't do that as a married man with responsibilities. So I became frustrated. And then I cried out to God. I said, God, I'm tired of poverty. I really want a way out. And God gave me some assignments, which are part of the book, but 2 things that were very key. He said, get a new Bible, and I'm going to show you from Genesis to Revelation my own wealth creation plan. And that was the first thing I did. The second thing he asked me to do was to study the life of rich and wealthy individuals on earth, individuals and families. Find out what did they do to become rich, and how have they been able to perpetuate their riches. And that was the shock of my life. So for 8 months I was like a madman into 1998, and I realized that every rich and wealthy individual on earth, they all did the same things. success leaves clues. I realized that number one, they were all men and women that work for themselves. None of them were salary earners. So I knew that I have to have a rethink about the subject of salary. Number two, none of them had only one source of income. They had multiple streams of income. Number three, every one of them without fail had real estate as one of the things that helped them not just to create wealth, but to retain their wealth. So I said, okay, no problem. If you do what successful people do, you become successful. I did the same thing in 3-4 years, my story changed. So for me, even though I came from a middle class, low income family, the first thing that had to happen was that change of mindset, change of understanding, because you have to become it to attract it. And once I had that understanding, that became the software that ran every other thing that I did. Every other thing was just application of what I've learned. And that's how I got here.
Clap if you want to. I think you should. So I want to ask, because it looks like sometimes people have a blockade. We see a lot of intelligent people who are broke. They are doing well they can reason well. But you are an advocate of common sense. And so, can you help us unpack the difference between intelligence, common sense, and wealth?
Application, consistency, and mentorship. A lot of people know what to do, but they don't do it. They're very intelligent to explain everything, but if you ask them, are you doing it? They're not. Do you understand now? There was a program that took place somewhere on the African continent recently. And the president of a country was on the panel, and they asked the president of the country a question, and in answering the question, he said that all the African continents can come together, work together, do commodity together, and this and that. And then they asked him, so why didn't you start it? He stopped. He doesn't have anything to say. When you go online, or you listen to radio programs morning or evening, we have a lot of all these phone-in programs, and you realize that every time there is a topic, when people call, hello, my name is, yeah, what do you have to say? That's the problem. All these people, everybody's complaining. So what do you think will be done? That's the problem. And that's not new. When you go to the FRA, Free Readers Association, at the vendor stand of newspaper, you see people, they're very intelligent people. They are all postulating theory, but they don't do it. Go onto social media, you see a lot of stupid people talking with 200 naira airtime. Put a program online now and say, money matters. Put date, time, and venue. Put it there. The first thing comment will be is when. Where is the venue? They don't even have enough brain to read what they are seeing. So the problem is, number one, action. A lot of people are very intelligent, but they are not doers. Number two is consistency. That you have done it and it did not work does not mean you should stop doing it. Whatever is right, keep doing what is right. When it is working, when it is not working, until it begins to work. And number three is mentorship. So you see a lot of people, they will tell you, don't listen to all these people, all these motivational speakers, aspire to acquire, I've tried it, it does not work. Now listen, I've been in full-time ministry by October 9th with 37 years in full-time ministry. I've pastored the same church for 31 years. As I am today, there are still poor people in my church tomorrow. Because everything you say, after you are finished, they want to come and collect money after service. All those things you are saying is not for them. They are not ready to do. They are not ready to be consistent. And they don't have mentorship. So when you see a lot of people, let me say this. At the point in our church, we were doing multiple marriages. Because we decided that we can only do marriage one Saturday in a month. So sometimes we do 3 marriages. So years ago, we did 3 marriages one Saturday in August. 1 year later, 2 of the people had already gotten pregnant and they had a child. One of that couple did not have a child for 18 years. And I looked at them face to face every Sunday. 18 years later, they are twins. Now, what do you do to have a child? Consistently have sex with your partner. You will have a child. That's the principle. Sexual intercourse between husband and wife is the principle for pregnancy. But they did it for 18 years and they didn't have a child. Is it because sex does not produce child anymore? No. So sex is not a scam. The reason why the sex did not work for them is because there were other underlying factors that was not allowing the principle to work. So the fact that you did something once and it did not work, as long as it is the right thing, keep doing it. If it's not working, find out why it is not working. Don't fight the principle. So people are fighting principles. Just because you did it, you didn't say it's a lie. This one is a scam. That's why it's a scam. After 10 years, you'll still be a pessimist, but nothing will change. So that's the key. Is action, consistency, and mentorship. A mentor is someone that has achieved what you want to achieve. A mentor is going to be up there looking at everything. You know, like Google Map works based on satellites. So when you are going, it will tell you, no, you can turn here because there's a traffic now. That's what a mentor does. They have an overview. So whatever you are going through that is not working, they say, no, don't worry. This is the way it works. Pull by this, do this. And that's so. But people, they don't act. They are not consistent, and they don't have any mentor. Let me wrap up with this. When you are in primary school, you have teachers. By the time you enter secondary school, you have teachers. Once you enter university, teachers expire. You have lecturers. We don't teach university, we lecture. But by the time you leave university, you now have coaches and mentors. So a lot of people stop learning when they left school. When you graduate, there will be no more teachers, there will be no more lecturers. You now need to intentionally, the same way you went to look for a school and started paying school fees, you have to intentionally now look for a coach and a mentor that has achieved what you want to achieve, that has gone to where you want to get to say, look, I want to submit to you the same way I submitted to university. And then you pay with time, you pay attention, and you pay with money.
Can you say it again, sir?
You pay time, you pay attention. You know, when you went to school, you were not the one paying.
Yeah.
Your parents paid the money, but you paid with the time and attention. But now that you have graduated, you will pay with your time, you pay attention to what they're telling you, you now pay with money. They will now be the one to coach your life into the next level. That's the way it works.
There is an evil we see in the world. There are a lot of people who are high income earners, but it looks like even though they have an opportunity by that high income to leverage, they are unable to translate that. What are you've been doing this for years, helping people to leapfrog and change. What are the common errors you see that people who regularly earn and they're expected to be able to make something of it and they don't?
It's simple. They don't have financial intelligence. That's all. Now, you see, there's what we call the wealth pyramid. In the wealth pyramid, the people at the middle, they are the people you are mentioning right now. Because at the bottom of the pyramid, we have those that are in financial crisis. Then we have those that are financial instability. Then we have those that are financially stable. Now, those that are financially stable are people that have a good job. By virtue of the job, they have, you know, profit sharing, target bonus, they have all kinds of stuff. They have official house, traveling, they have savings, they have a house of their own, their children are in private school, they travel abroad and all those stuff. But you see, the missing link is that everything they have comes from the money they make by exchanging their time and energy for money. So they are working for money. Money is not working for them. That's the mistake. They don't have financial intelligence. They don't know that they don't know. They don't want to know. They are very arrogant because there are many people that are looking up to them, but they have nothing to look up to. So what you see is that man is working, is making 3.5 million a month, 5 million a month. Maybe at the end of the year they pay him 12 million as part of his own profit sharing or target bonus or whatever, or equity, whatever. So he's making money, but that money he's making is because he's working in that company. He's working in a place where he's earning 5 million a month, in a place where people are earning 120. But guess what? Once he loses that job and that 5 million stops coming, in less than 6 months he's a poor man. Why? He has nothing else working for him. So that's the problem. So instead of them to use that act, and that's what we're talking about, creating wealth as a career person. That time that you are making that 3 million, 5 million a month, you are supposed to apply those things I spoke to about managing money. Live on a budget, delay gratification, and then set money aside for investment. So if while you are working, you make up your mind that every year I'm going to buy a land banking. Every 3 to 5 years, I'm going to buy a house. It means that if you work for 25 years, you're going to have 5 houses and 25 plot of land. So even if you lose your job, that house has become an asset that is producing cash flow. That will keep you going because your time is limited, your energy is limited. And many of the things you call a job, you are not in control. I have friends that we all grew up together. When I started real estate, I always share this story because it's a painful one. When I started real estate and I realized the power of real estate, I'm like, Kai, all these my friends in bank, let me talk to them, let them bring money. Since I have integrity and I know this, let them bring money, let's put money. I spoke to many of them, not one of them. Not one. All those bush land. No. I said, no, I've discovered land banking in the next 20 years. In the next 15 years. 20 years was like, what are you talking about? One of them was a regional manager in one of the top banks. This guy, I will call him, I will talk to him. The guy did not do anything. He said, no, even if he wants to buy land, he said, Leke, phase 1. He was calling me. I said, start from somewhere. The guy did not listen. 1 year, I spoke to him. He told me that, I said, what if you lose your job? He said, that last year I was the top this and that, I was the top that and that, and I made a statement. I said, now you are saying you can never lose your job. What if the market sack your bank? He said it's not possible. The next year, bank consolidation. That bank is no more today. The day he lost his job and came to my office, he was crying downstairs. Why was he crying? After all the good things he has done, they let him go and they gave him, was it 24 million or so? That with that 24 million, if he had given me 20, I can make him a billionaire. But he was crying, and I said, "I'm for 24. You know what? Okay, for maybe 20." I started telling him what we can do with 20 million. He said, "Oh look, oh yeah, my rent is 6 million. So by the time we pay rent for 2 years, 12 million is gone. His children are in schools that he cannot afford." When the guy was in my office crying, what he was crying about was not even the loss of the job. He was calling the name of his wife. Bimbo my familiar. That's not the wife's name. Bimbo my familiar. Bimbo Legia. He was crying because, you see, many of you think you have a wife. You don't have a wife, you have a knife. The only reason why you think you are married is because you can afford to pay the bills. Wait until there is no money. You will know whether you have a wife or not. And guess what? By the time he got back home, Bimbo said, "So what's the plan?" The Bimbo still left him with 2 children, left for America. The guy is single, he just remarried 2 years ago now. His life is out of order. So that is their problem. They don't understand financial intelligence. They are exchanging time and energy for money instead of making money work for them. That's the kid.
Wow. I also want us to take a cursory look at something. Let's imagine in a country like Nigeria, somebody earning around, say, 250, 300, that band. There's a tendency, or maybe it's a cultural wiring that makes you feel that you don't have much to put aside. And there are legitimate, like our pastor will say, there are so many legitimacies in our lives that make us make wrong decisions. I need to pay school fees, I need to do this. That if somebody looks at what you have done with the money, they won't say, some people say, and I don't drink, I don't carry women. And so many things want to take that money out of your purse into your past. Can you help us take a look at, say, somebody in that band and say, these are the areas where your money is really going the wrong way?
Like Grace said earlier on, one of the uniqueness of what we have done is that we are not theoreticians. We are practitioners. I can give you name, phone number of people you can call now that earn 100,000, 200,000, and they are stupendously wealthy. Why? Because they know what others don't know. I just give you an example of my PAs here. Look at, right there, you have palm tree there. 6 million per acre, 15 million per hectare. Anybody that brings somebody to buy one, you are getting 10%. So that means all you need is a network. Uncle, they are selling land, this is the document, your lawyer can go and check, this is the form, fill it. If your uncle buys 1 acre, you are getting 600. If your neighbor buys 1 hectare, you are getting 1.5 million, even though your salary is 100,000. So there are people working for me, earning 150, collecting 15 million every month. Why? Because they are using their network to bring turnover to the company and getting their own portion. So it's financial intelligence that we need. Then let's break it down. What are the 3 major things that takes money from people? Accommodation, roof over your head, feeding, and then school fees. You have to settle it that you have to stay within your level. You are not going to be there forever, but you must stay there. So let's start school. Let's start with
because
accommodation.
Let's
start with accommodation. You are a man and a woman with 1 child. What are you doing in a 2-bedroom? What are you doing in a 3-bedroom? What are you doing in a highbrow area that you cannot pay for? Any rent you need help to pay is too expensive. Any rent you need prayer point to pay is too expensive. Find a location that is suitable to your income. Some people need to leave Lagos and relocate to Ogun State, go to Ibadan,
and they can still become wealthy.
Life and direct, because technology eliminates villages.
Come on.
You can do transfer from anywhere. You can be on Wi-Fi from anywhere. So all this Lagos is a olden days mindset. Yes, no, that's olden days theory. You can be anywhere. So number 1 is to look for accommodation that works for you. You can do fractional ownership. You can have a 3-bedroom apartment. 1 room is your own. One of my houses in the UK is a 3-bedroom with a penthouse. The penthouse is there. I stayed there with my family once in a while. We want to stay in the place, but we rented 1 room out, room by room. Each of those rooms are being rented by families. In Lagos today, I have children that are doing that all over. So you don't need to have a whole house of your own. If it's only one room you can have, parlor will be our general parlor, kitchen will be our general kitchen. It is still better than tenement face me and face you. Do you understand? So find the accommodation that works for you. There are people in Lagos living under the bridge, they did not die. They are living in wooden houses, they did not die. Start from somewhere. Number 2, feeding. He said, you know, I have to eat 3 square meals. Is 3 a square or a triangle? Where do you have the idea that you must eat 3? If it's only one you can eat, square it. Because you don't live to eat, you eat to live. Even those that are not hungry will be telling you, where's my lunch? Are you hungry? So you look at your expenses and you cut it down. Eat what you can eat. Some of you are eating meat. You don't need to eat. You don't need meat. When we were growing up, there are different kinds of food that we ate that brought us to where we are. There is what we call ilalasipo, concussion. So that one, you will now cut the okra, big. The okra will look like meat.
God bless.
To give you a psychological. Then when you want to do, rice, we do concussion. You just mix atagungu, and if you can get some shower, just put it and then cut pomos, small. Just give yourself psychological relief. And then you can do konkere. You get beans. One for me, see, you let the water of the beans be more. You now put garri inside. It will now soak it. It will now be so. By the time you take like 4 spoons, you now drink 2 pure water. It will now enlarge inside you. But we are here today. Do you understand now? Then we now go to school. Please, I beg you. Who told you your children must go to school?
Say it again.
Who told you your children must go to school?
Did you hear what I heard?
Let's face reality. The first medical doctor who gave him certificates. The first lawyer who certified the first lawyer. The first accountant who was his own lecturer. Everything you are embracing today, somebody started it. So the first thing you need to do is to understand the main education that anybody needs is good home training and having an understanding of the way the world works. If your children can go through elementary school, they are good. Once they finish primary school like this, as a parent, your responsibility is to discover their giftings and talent and potential. By the time they are supposed to be going to secondary school, look for what their talent is and push them in that direction. So if that your young boy is finishing school at the age of 12, 13, and you realize that, okay, I may not be able to do secondary school, can he go and learn a trade? Can he go and learn something? If it's fashion, can he go to fashion school? If it's electronic, can he go to electronic school? Okay, let's say he has even finished secondary school. Do you know that right now, POP, tiling, electrical, plumbing, these guys are doing millions. And there are people that went to school, nothing. School is not a scam, but the curriculum is a scam. Because most of what they are teaching you, 80% of what you learn in school is useless when you graduate. The word that existed when you went to school, that word will not exist when you finish school. So instead of carrying your children, you want to go to school, and many of you are in private school. If the school fees you are paying for your children, you need fasting and prayer to pay, the school fees is too expensive. And you start with all this jealousy, kindergarten. There is homeschooling. There are so many things you can do. And I've mentioned this thing. You are married to a man, 2 of you are married. All the work you are doing, you now carry like 50% of that money to pay rent, another 30% to pay school fees. So 80% of your income is going on 2 items. Why can't somebody stay at home and homeschool the child? Why not? Whether husband or wife, and let the person whose career can bring more income face that one. Because see, there are things we need to rethink. Because at the end of the day, they go to school, they graduate, they don't have a job. They now go and do master, they become master over nothing. Because the educational system is created as an assembly line for producing job seekers, not job creators. So the curriculum is skewed towards. So by the time you finish after primary school, secondary school, university, after spending about 21 years, you now graduate. The first letter you write is I beg to apply. So you spend 21 years to be a beggar. So we have to, as a family, have that rethink. And then it will help us to now to manage all the things we have. And no matter what, even if you are doing 250, 150, once you know how to make more money, you'll be amazed. Like I give you an example now, at how you can make more money than that 150 or that 250 that you're making. Then if from that 250, you are just putting 25,000, 10% is all you need to save. If you are saving 10% of your income, because our grandparents and those that have come before us, they didn't go to school. You know, in Lagos now, the illiterates are the landlord, the educated ones are the tenants. They didn't go to school, but they had financial intelligence, they had common sense. They knew that this money I'm making, go to the market, go to my 12 here, go to Ojue, go to Mushi. There are people that are not earning as much as you earn. They don't have the kind of education you have, but they understand this law. Every day, one job, 1,000 a day, 2,000 a day. At the end of the month, the guy collecting the 1,000 will come, they are supposed to collect 31. The guy will collect 10% and give them 27. That 27, they will not spend it. They have another susu that they are doing 2020 or 25. So as they are collecting that 27, want that 25. That 25 in 10 months, Omako 250. As they are collecting that 250, they are not spending. They are either using it to pay school fees for their child, or they are using it to make a deposit for a land in the village that they are using to farm tomato or farm cucumber. So these are how people do. You just come here wearing suit and tie, ignorant people, proud and arrogant. You are poor and proud. Double jeopardy. Look at this meeting now. They will not come. But if we are calling phone number now, we are pouring all on the eye. They will hear everybody will be falling and breaking chair. It is well.
Wow. So I imagine that there is somebody who is a sole proprietor here, and I mean they've been bootstrapping on their business, but they can't wrap their head around the concept of somebody else bringing money and then taking part of it. I think it's a cultural thing. There seems to be a mental blockade around that. How can you help us divorce ourselves from wanting to own it all?
Okay, you know, Lalukwa and Sons, Ikechukwu and Sons, is a mindset, and that's why, like I said earlier on, you need mentors. Sometimes you just need somebody to help you see clearly. You just need somebody to help you see better. And I think data helps when people see statistics and data. So I would advise everybody right now, once you leave here, go and do a research. How much of the platform Amazon does Jeff Bezos has? When you check Amazon and you check Jeff Bezos, you see that he owns less than 20%. How much of Facebook does Mark has? Less than 20%. How much of Microsoft does Bill Gates have? Less than 20%. By the time you see all these multi-billionaires that are founders, founder does not mean owner. They are founders, but they have sold 50%, 70% of what they own to other people. And the 10-20% they have is in billions. So once you begin to think from that perspective, that's why I brought it down to my mother is paying 5% to Lapo or paying 3. They are paying. If somebody can from that petty trade pay 60% return, abba, what that tells you is that if I give her money, I can collect 30%, and everybody will be happy. She'll be happy that I halved our interest, and you will be happy that your interest will give you 30% guarantee. And we all move on like that. So, and these are things we have tested and proven. So for that person, it's just for you to be in the right environment or have the right mentorship or right tribe that will help you see clearly and see differently. All these family business, say that I want to start business for my family, they are all expired theory. Starting a business because of your family is a recipe for disaster, a recipe for poverty. Because the children you are raising right now, they are being raised in a different world. I can tell you, I have a lot of billionaire friends now. Hospital for sale, chamber for sale, university for sale, school for sale, fuel station for sale, properties for sale, farm for sale. The children are not coming anywhere. They have told their father, forget it. We are not coming, sell it. Because you use your money to send them abroad. Now they have gone there, they would rather stay abroad and return. And now you are left with all the houses and they are not coming back. Many of the people that they use, when I was in school, I went to school in Ilorin, in Omukpo. So when we're going, there is Dodoikiri, there's Akaransu that we use. So those people that they use Dodoikiri and Akaransu to train, they are all in banks and multi-chips. They are all there wearing suit and tie and poor. Are you not supposed to go to school, then bring the education back and go back to that Akara and take the Akara to the next level? But they abandoned what brought them. So they left their birthrights and now they are eating what is not their own. So it's all a function of being in the right tribe that will help you see differently so that you can do differently.
Wow. Wow. Okay. To be candid, it's loud out there that this country is not doing well. I mean, that's the loud narrative. I mean, but to listen to somebody like you makes you rethink, because again, the voice out there can make you take the wrong choices. I would like you to speak to young people here. Maybe, I mean, they just started earning, and some of them perhaps are favored, lucky to even have salaries. How can somebody live such that they are able to shut out the noise? Because what you just described now, in terms of opportunity, does not sound like it's happening in Nigeria here. Hospitals for sale and all of those things. So how do you live outside of the noise?
Okay. Now please listen and listen well. Nigeria is one of the best countries in the world. You only have to understand to understand. Nigeria is one of the best countries, one of the richest countries. Now, when we talk about riches, the human capital is huge. The mineral resources huge. So the problem with many of us is our mindset and our association. Listen and listen well. Every money on earth is still on earth. Money does not travel. Money does not go on holiday. So when you say there is no money in Nigeria, you are a liar. Because they have been stealing money for 60 years. The money has not finished.
Come on.
So that mindset is your problem. That's the virus. If you say there is no money in your pocket, you are right. If you say you don't have money, you are right. But to say there is no money in Nigeria, you are a liar. Because people, if there is no money, what are they going to do there? They will start again. Next year, they will give you 5 bags of 5 kgs rice, empowerment rice, and take another 4 years of your life. But they continue to make the money. So Nigeria, because there is money in Nigeria. Number 2, in Nigeria, you see, crisis creates opportunities. Money hides in problems. So because of the myriads of problems that we have, that is myriads of opportunity and myriads of money to be made. So once you understand that, it will go a long way in helping you. But if you think that the grass is greener on the other side, it's synthetic fiber. There are people that have traveled out now and they have realized that it's not as easy. They can't come back again because they can't even afford the ticket to return. They can't come back because there's nothing to return to. They have sold everything. And all those noise is because of, number 1, your mindset. Number 2, your association. If you are moving with people that are telling you, okay, let me know. I have a paper in my pocket I would have loved to read. I just came back from Jos yesterday.
You can take your time.
This was given to me by a youth corper. So gave to my PA gave to me, so I just read it. So I was reading it. He's a youth corper. He said he met me in Enugu 3 years ago, and I was speaking about fractional ownership, how that you can gather your friends together. He said, so he called 19 of his friends, and 20 of them started putting 5,000, 10,000 together. He said he's happy that right now he's doing its youth service now, and they have 4 plots of land that they have bought and paid for in full. If they continue like that, the land they are buying for 500 today may end up becoming 50 million in 10 years time. That's how it works. It's because he saw it. He's not thinking of Japa. I have a young boy. He's the youngest member of the Billionaires Conclave. And what does he do? He has just finished school. He's also a youth corper. And this year alone, he has done 8 million. Where did he get 8 million from? Online. He's an engineer. And then he goes online and he tells people, I can do your structural drawing, I can do this for you, and that's all he does, and people engage him. Why? Why did the students get that idea? He was in the right environment that they told him you can do this. So as long as you see, anything you cause cannot bless you. When you say Nigeria is a cost country, you can't make money in Nigeria. When you say Nigeria is a useless country, you can't make money in Nigeria. So as long as you keep joining people to cost Nigeria, Nigeria cannot work for you. And you cannot convince me otherwise when I know people that are doing billions. I have a daughter, Ejalonta. This year alone, she has done 5 billion as a tapri. You know, Ejatita. And you are telling me that I will not get So what are you telling me? So it's for you to have the right mindset and then the right association. So that no matter where you are, you begin to find out where are the problems that I can solve. What is value? Answering questions, meeting needs, and solving problems. Most of the things people are complaining about, if one person can just take responsibility to solve the problem, you will become richer than the other people. That's all. So please stop looking at Nigeria from the lens of all the noise. Shut the noise with the right mindset, get information, read books, and then have the right association. Because all this, is my background. You don't, no. You can't use your background as an excuse once you are 18 years old. Once you are 18, you have become the background. Though. By the time you give birth to your first child, you are now an ancestor. Because one of the people. So where your ancestors has failed you, you cannot afford to fail your descendants. Be talking background. It's an excuse of failure. So take responsibility for your life, because no one will plan your life for you without your involvement. No matter how terrible you say Nigeria is, people are making money because there are still problems to be solved. Find the one you can solve and money will flow.
Before we move to the next, I want to ask a very pivotal question. I mean, you help entrepreneurs across industries. And here, we're in the world of AI. What is your overarching perception about AI? And I want you to talk to young people here. What is that important thing about AI that they must have in mind to be able to leverage it appropriately?
In 1999, as we're moving towards year 2000, we went through what is called the Y2K bug. Oh, Y2K, they say, oh, 000, the world will come to an end, everything will reset, oh, you must learn computer, you must. So we went to learn desktop publishing, we learned everything because we wanted to be Y2K compliant. After a while, they say, oh, it's a WhatsApp, you must know how to type, you must know how to do. So listen to me. The first thing you must understand is that AI is not coming to take over anybody's job. AI is not coming to take over anybody's business. But those who know how to use AI will take over your job and take over your business. Because AI is working based on what somebody has programmed it to do. So you must learn to use AI. So as we move forward, we are moving more into the technological age. So everything you do in brick and mortar, take it online. Take it into the e-commerce level. Take it into the technology level and look for AI tools that will help you to leverage and automate them. And that's the future. When I came here today now, I brought physical book. I brought USB. So that if you don't want the physical one, you take the USB one, you download the PDF, you listen to the MP3. And I told you there's a university online. If you don't want physical, you go online. That's the way it works. So whether it's physical, USB, or online, we are using technology. When you go online now, there are AI Olumide Emmanuel. So I'm talking now. Now there are versions of me online that is an AI version, teaching. When you go online now, when I'm speaking in English, AI takes my words, changes it to 15 other languages. So as I'm popular in Nigeria, I'm popular in nations of the world. The same thing you are hearing me say in English, AI is translating it to 15 other languages. And they are inviting me all over those countries to come to them. But I'm in Nigeria here. That's what you do. You use AI as a technology to enhance whatever you are doing. Because the word system, SYSTEM, means save yourself time, energy, and money. So whatever will save you time, energy, and money is what you should be doing. That's a system. So AI is a system. Find out what is taking my time, what is taking my energy, what is taking my money. Look for the tool that will help you to do that, and you have your leverage.
Thank you. Money is spiritual. And we've heard so many things from so many speakers here today, and even people all over. I want to ask a question about, at what point does an entrepreneur pay tithe? Do you tithe your business revenue, or you tithe your own salary from what your business pays you? Okay, now there is a difference between personal income and corporate income. So as an entrepreneur and a kingdom businessman, you have to recognize that you are separate from your business. So we advise every kingdom entrepreneur must earn a salary. You must have something you earn every month. The fact that you are the owner of the company does not mean you should just begin to spend it now, because you should be thinking of building a company that will outlive you. And without corporate governance and proper system and structure, you are running a family business, not a sustainable business. A survivor mindset cannot build a transgenerational business. So you earn a salary, you have bonuses or whatever that comes to you. That is your personal income. You tithe from that. So for your personal income, everything you get, you tithe from that gross personal income. Now, for your business, you don't tithe from your gross income. You tithe from your profits. Now, Grace was trying to explain that earlier on when she said you buy it for 10,000, you sell for 15,000. Turnover is not profit. That's why a lot of people get into problem. Turnover is vanity. The only sanity is profit. Come on. So you can be having turnover and you are still poor. Why? Because by the time you buy for 10,000, you sell for 15,000. You have not factored in taxes. You have not factored in your rent. You have not factored in salaries. You have not factored in the overhead costs. You have not factored in storage. You have not factored in cost of repurchasing and all this stuff. So at the end of the day, you are supposed to have sold that thing you bought for 10,000. You are supposed to have sold it for 30,000. But by selling it for 15,000, you are already in debt. But cash flow is coming in. So in a company, you must know what your turnover is. Then you must know what your overhead is. Then when you separate your overhead, whatever is now left, that's where you tithe. That is called a corporate tithe. That's different from your personal tithe. So if you are a Christian that owns a business, you may not be able to tithe every month. Your tithe may be once a year. After you have done your annual income, you now know this is the income for the year, you now tithe. For some kingdom business people, the kind of business they do is such that they already know the profit per item. You understand now? They know the profit per item. So you are a fashion designer. You know that if somebody brings me to sew boo-boo for them and I charge them 80,000, I know that everything it will cost me, I've calculated it. That for everything I'm going to do to prepare this boo-boo, I'm profiting 50,000. So I know that per boo-boo, 5,000 is my tithe. So I give you an example. I do a lot of businesses. Like the palm tree now, we pay tithes on this palm tree every month. But my other real estate company, we pay tithe once a year. But the reason we can pay tithe on palm tree every month is because from day one, we have sat down and we have calculated that, okay, we are selling this for this amount. This is the cost of this. So we know that for every 1 acre we sell, this is the profit. So every month, they are paying tithes. Do you understand now? It's different. For my books now, for instance, as I'm writing a book, I tithe upfront. Why? When I print a book now,
I already know that, okay, I'm printing 5,000. This is my cost price. This is my selling price. I just divide. I know that, okay, if I finish selling this 5,000, I'll make 70 million. That means my tithe is 7 million. So as I launch the book, I just gather 10 million. I pay the tithe in advance. It doesn't mean I will still not pay, but just to at least save myself, and then favor will begin to flow. Can we have 100 copy? Can you come and speak here? Because you understand the principle. So it is not a one size fits all. Separate yourself so that your own is constant, but for your company, depending on the kind of business, you do it either per item, per week, per month, or per annum.
Wow. So last question before I let you go. If your grandchildren, if you want them to learn one thing from you, what would that be?
It's simple. Let money work for you instead of you working for money. So by the time they come, they will realize that money is waiting for them before they came. And that money that is waiting for them before they came, they must let the money continue to work so that generations after them will also call them blessed. So if they can think of me, not from the point of breaking a generational curse, but enjoying a generational blessing, that's the same thing their own children should think of them. Because think about it now. I've been in the church for about 40 years of my life. I've been a Christian for about 40 years. Now I have 3 children. My last born is 13 plus. Are you telling me now that after being in church for that long, my children will now come to church? They now say, yeah, let's pray. Every altar of your father's house. It's a useless prayer to them. Because I am the altar. And I'm not an evil altar. I have cleared the road. So the prayer I pray, they shouldn't be praying that kind of useless prayer. The prayer they should be praying is, Lord, give me this mountain. They should be praying to take generations, to take territories, not to break a curse. So when you are a Christian, you have been born again for 20 years, 25 years, your children were born in church, you are still breaking altar of fathers, and both you and your children, you are confused. The theology you have listened to is a corrupted virus. Because which curse are you breaking that you couldn't break for 25 years, that your children still came to inherit it? It's time to move from generational curse to generational blessing. Thank you.
As we come to the end of this powerful teaching, remember this: wealth is not an event, it is a process. It begins when you learn how to make money, grows when you learn how to manage money, and it multiplies when you learn how to invest money. Yes, because people still keep spending their lives chasing income, but few take the time to build the mindset, the discipline, and the financial intelligence that is required to create lasting wealth. Your future will not be determined by how much money passes through your hands, but how much value you create, how wisely you manage your resources, and how consistently you invest in yourself and your future. This is where commitment and community like ours exist. Every day, people are changing their lives through knowledge, skills, acquisition, mentorship, and personal development. From learning high-income skills to participating in our book reading club, members are discovering their growths, and it is intentional. Remember, success leaves a clue. A single book can change your thinking, a single skill can change your income, a single decision can change your life. The question is not whether opportunity exists. Are you preparing yourself to recognize and maximize them when they appear? If this message has challenged your thinking, don't stop here. Take time to explore more videos on this channel, covering wealth creation, money mindsets, investing, career growth, business, and financial intelligence. Keep learning, keep growing, and keep building, because the life you desire will always be hidden in the person you are becoming. Thank you for watching. I will see you in the next video.